All right. Last time we were talking about cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. The idea that is if I'm thinking, I know I must at least exist. And then I told you that the reason your car won't explode when you drive home tonight is because of God. So how does all this come together, and who is this God, and why is the fact that I think, therefore I am, mean that my car is not going to explode and that God exists? Well, that's a very interesting question, and it's actually the foundation of modern society as we know it, believe it or not. So if I think, I know I exist, but I still have that problem about that evil demon. Now again, Descartes does not believe in the evil demon. It was simply a way for him to doubt those simple ideas. But if there is an evil demon, then I may not know that these simple ideas exist. But let's think what other ideas I have in my mind, beside the fact that if I'm thinking, I know I am. Well, I have the idea, says Descartes, of infinity. Well, that's interesting, because infinity means forever, and I'm certainly not infinite. So what in the world could put the idea of the infinite into my mind? And he thinks, well, of course, only something infinite. I also have the idea of perfection. What could possibly have put the idea of perfection in my mind? Well, of course, only something perfect. Since I'm not infinite and I'm not perfect, those ideas could not have originated with me. What in the world could have put these ideas in my mind? I also have the idea of God in my mind, and certainly I'm not God because I'm not infinite, I'm not perfect, I'm not omnipotent, all-powerful, or omnibenevolent, all good. I just am, and I have these ideas of things way, way bigger and better than I am. So the only possible thing that could have put the idea of God in my mind to begin with is God. So he starts with his first argument for the existence of God. It's called the causal argument. Causal argument. In other words, only God could cause me to think of God. So now that I know that God exists because God caused me to think of God, what does this word God even mean? And he says, of course, the word God means the greatest conceivable thing. You cannot even think of anything better than God. Otherwise, that thing would have to be God, since God is the best thing you can think of. Now, of course, some of you are atheists, and I don't blame you, because after all, a lot of bad stuff happens. And if God's so damn good, why does so much bad stuff happen? And Descartes says, no, you don't get it. The very fact that you know that bad stuff can happen means that you also know God can't do it, because God means perfect. So here's the question. What is a better thing? Something that exists, for example, this marker here, or something that doesn't exist? Say this marker here. Well, there's no marker there. So which of these two markers is better? The existing marker or the non-existing marker? And of course, we would all say the existing thing is better than the non-existing thing. And since God is perfect by definition, when I think God, I think the most perfect thing, and it's more perfect to exist than not to exist, and God is perfect, more perfect to exist than not to exist, and God is perfect, oh no, God must exist. And that's called the ontological argument. And it goes like this. It is a greater thing to exist than not to exist. God is the greatest conceivable thing, therefore God must exist. So Descartes has given us two arguments for the existence of God. Now notice this isn't Moses, Jesus, and all that jazz. This is an idea that a God alone would make it possible for me to know God, and in fact I do know God. So what's so darn good about God? The causal argument to the ontological argument. So now he has a few things. He knows that God exists, he thinks. He knows that he exists, he thinks. So what's so good about God? Well, God wouldn't be a lion dog. Otherwise it wouldn't be God. And therefore God certainly cannot be evil. So God can't be an evil demon. And if God is what allows me to understand the truth of my simple ideas, then that means my simple ideas are trustworthy. 2 plus 2 really does equal 7. No, 4. 4. It equals 4. So that means that God is the reason why I know that my simple ideas work. And if I know the simple ideas are true, then that means that I know that I can understand the world by thinking about it with my mind. So what Descartes has done is he said that God itself guarantees the truth of mathematics and geometry. That's a very strange thing to do. So let's think about that. You get in your car tonight, you stick the key in the ignite, son of a gun, ignite, and you sit on that big tank of gas and you say, ignite, son of a gun, ignite! And it ignites, and it doesn't blow up. And the reason it doesn't blow up is because the people that made that car, whether they knew it or not, believed in Descartes' God, the God that says the numbers really work, and if the numbers really work and you build the damn car according to the numbers, the damn thing won't blow up. The end. So there it is. God is why your car doesn't blow up, because God is what makes math work, and God is why I know that math works, And that is the beginning of modern society. So there you have, God exists, I exist, math works, the evil demon doesn't exist, yippee-i-o-ki-yay. Back in a minute. If I can turn this darn